Taking a look at the new pack, we have Firewall Dragon Singularity. It's a new boss Link 6. I don't think there's been a Link 6 before. There might have been. The effect is not terribly bad, but it's more tailored towards a Cyberverse specifically. Although the quick effect where you can target cards your opponent controls in the graveyard, that one is just like a good effect in general. So it is a pretty powerful Link monster because it does have bouncing potential during your turn or your opponent's. Link Decoder is a Link 1, and it might be one of the best Link ones, well, only for Cyberverse at least. It's pretty sick. It does need a specific cost. There's like a specific Cyberverse Link monster in mind, but there should be enough 2300s in order to facilitate this and make it a very excellent card in combo strategies. I only really see Cyberverse Z-Save Worm seeing play in combination with the Link 2 that allows you to fusion summon. This essentially just gets a Cyberverse out of your hand, and when it's in the graveyard, because you can use this as material for another Link, you can just use this as like a negate. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It actually gives Cyberverse a negate, which, I mean, one negate's pretty powerful if you use it in the right situation. Balgril de Novelles is a weird removal ritual. When it hits the field, and if it's special summoned specifically by the effect of a Novelles monster, you can tribute as many of your opponent's monsters as possible. Otherwise, quick effect, you can just target an attack position, specifically attack position, monster your opponent controls, tribute it, and special summon a Hungry Burger. I'll put the card on screen. You might have seen it if you played Yugioh when you were a kid. Yeah, they brought it back. It's back, baby. Vanquish Soul Raisin is a quick effect, destroy whatever monster's in front of it, and at the same time, it also searches you a card. Being removal and a searcher at the same time is a lot of advantage in one card. Vanquish Soul Dr. Mad Love is good as well. It's a search specifically for Vanquish Soul spell or traps, but quick effect, you can lower the attack and defense of an opponent's monster, or you can literally like bounce a monster with the lowest defense to the hand. It's kind of tricky because this has 2000 defense, and you know, you have to kind of like use it at the right time. It's not as good as the other one, but it is still kind of decent. It's a good boss monster. You can just special summon it quick effect on the field by returning another Vanquish to your hand, which allows you to re-normal summon that and get the effect off again. Also, this quick effect is you can destroy another card on the field, which is just spot removal. It's amazing. And what I think is even better and more underrated is the Earth ability, where it's unaffected by the opponent's activated effects this turn. It essentially makes it into a towers where it's only able to be destroyed by battle. And it has 3000 attack. And some of the other ones change the stat values of monsters. So it's going to be a little tricky to try to get over him. He's just going to be too thick. This card has potential. The Pendulum effect essentially just gets it on the field for free as a free body. When it's special summoned, it gets an effect. Also, when it's tributed and added to the extra deck, you just place it back on your pendulum skill. It's rather interesting because it's a good pendulum card, but it's also support for this ritual archetype. Original Bamboo Sword is bamboo support, and it is good. Essentially, if your monster inflicts direct damage, you destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Now, that's not super good on its own, but I think the last effect is way better. You can send this equip card to the graveyard, equip a bamboo, equip spell directly from your deck. The reason you would even consider running the Bamboo Sword engine is because Golden Bamboo Sword, which is essentially Pot of Greed, draw 2 cards as long as you control Bamboo Sword. So this kind of can help you search out your things. I kind of like it. It's not the worst thing in the world. Maybe an Exodia? Stake your soul, reveal 1 monster in your hand, special summon one Vanquish Soul monster with the same attribute but a different name from your deck. I don't even know if there's that many Vanquish Souls. I've only seen 3 so far, so that card doesn't seem as good at the moment. Mainly because I think this one's Earth, this one's like Dark, and this one's Fire. S-Force Nightcasher is okay. She's just a quick effect. Special summon one of your banished S-Force monsters. She doesn't get anything out of your deck. She just plays with what you already have. So she does make S-Forces better, but she doesn't make them good to where they need to be. Rock of the Vanquisher is the best Vanquisher I've seen so far, mainly for the fact that it's a Link 1, so it's super easy to make. And also during the main phase, you can just special summon a Vanquisher from your hand. Maybe you added one to your hand using a monster effect, or you can just add a Vanquisher Soul monster in your graveyard to your hand. You can literally add the monster you used to make this back to your hand. Also, it's a quick effect, so you can do stuff during your opponent's turn. It gives you a lot of plays, and it's a little scary. Exotic Hydra can draw you 2 cards if it deals damage by direct attack, but it also acts as a kind of semi-board removal. If your opponent has a Fusion, Synchro, XYZ, Pendulum, or Link, and you use any of those same types to make this guy, you can then make all your opponent's monsters 0 attack. It's only really good in decks that already have fusion strategies incorporated. I would never incorporate a fusion strategy just to put this card in though. Balameu Uneri de Noveles is interesting. When it's special summoned, you add a Noveles or recipe card from your deck to your hand, so it's a search. It also gives you removal in terms of targeting an attack position, specifically attack position again, and tributing it, which is nice because you can special summon a Noveles ritual from your hand or deck. Firewall Phantom, for some reason, is a level 5. It has a decent on-field effect. If it's sent to the graveyard for a Cyberverse link, you can just add a Signet spell and you discard a card. I mean, discarding a card isn't bad there either because maybe there's a card you want in your graveyard. I just don't understand why it's a level 5. Would have been too powerful as a level 4 because it searches. It also has a graveyard effect, which can get a Cyberverse in your graveyard back into your deck. Maybe that'd be a link, put it back in your extra. It's good util, just don't know why it's a level 5. You can't normal it unless you tribute one, so it's very strange. Vanquish Soul Heavy Bardagar is pretty cool, mainly for the fact that you can special summon it by returning a Vanquish Soul on your field that's not a machine, and just reveal Dark and draw 1. I mean, draw 1's not bad. It can get you a card that you need that facilitates more plays. Also, you can burn your opponent. Vanquish Soul Jiulong is another search. You reveal 2 fires if it's on the field, and you add a Vanquish Soul. I love having an additional search because it just means that you have access to even more cards during your turn 1. This one is a little bit harder to get out because you do need to reveal Vanquish Soul card in your hand, but you should be doing that majority of the time. Vanquish Soul's Dust Devil isn't a good card, mainly for the fact that it loses a lot of power if you're running cards that are not Vanquish Soul monsters, and it means that you can't combine Vanquish Soul with other archetypes or other cards as easily as you could if this card was like less restrictive. Voici la carte. Today's menu is one of the coolest cards I've ever seen because it's like you're actually ordering something. This card looks through your deck for 2 cards, your opponent picks one of them, adds it to your hand, and then based off the monster type that you added to your hand, you can add an additional card, whether it be fish recipe or meat recipe. I think it's really cool, and it plays into the theme of, hey, we're a restaurant and we make food. Okay, so Concordes de Cuisine Culinary Confrontation isn't a good card, mainly for the fact that it says also this turn you cannot use monsters as material for fusion. So if you accidentally run a non-engine card in the deck and you use it as material for whatever, you cannot activate this card because it doesn't say for the rest of the turn, it just says this turn. Besides that, it's pretty fun. It's a fun card. You give your opponent a card, I believe, and you get a card and they like face off against each other. Chef Special's Recipe has an extremely powerful graveyard effect and a mediocre on-field effect. Yeah, it's an Omni-Negate, but it's only a true Omni-Negate if you have a monster special summoned by the effect of a Noveles monster, and those monsters already have quick effects that can remove monsters, so it's like, when this card is in the graveyard and you special summon Hungry Burger, Hungry Burger eats all of your opponent's monsters. It's like the coolest thing in the world. I love it. Alright, we're at the rares. Protect Code Talker can be special summoned from the graveyard and you can use it to just go into a higher link monster. It also, when on the field, protects your link 4 or higher from being targeted, so it's pretty good against Kashtira. But this card itself can be targeted, so it's not the best. Politis de Noveles is just when it's special, you draw 1, which is decent. It is okay. I just wish it had a targeting negate. I think if it had a targeting negate, it would have made the deck really powerful to spot removal. Foyer Glacia de Noveles is weaker than the other one because when she enters the field, you can target 3 cards in the graveyard, shuffle them in the deck. It's not the worst effect in the world, but it's kind of mediocre. If you specifically ritual summon Berlia Basi de Noveles, you can add a ritual spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except this card. I like how it says except this card because you would just add this back and only play 1 copy. Recite de Viande Meat Recipe. So if you ritual summon Confrias de Noveles, you change all defense position monsters your opponent controls to attack position. That's good because a lot of the effects say, hey, your opponent needs to specifically have an attack position monster. I don't really know why specifically attack position monster, why can't it be in defense? But yeah, this card facilitates that cost that like most of the monsters have, so now you can actually trigger their abilities consistently. Vanquish Soul Trinity Burst might be a sleeper, but I'm not too sure. I'm on the fence whether it's good or bad. You need to target a Vanquish Soul on the field with a different name than up to 2 Vanquish Souls in your hand, and then after you special summon everything, you can return cards in the same columns back to the hand, which is a really cool effect, honestly. It's just a special summoning, and even fulfilling the activation cost requires you to have, 2 different names, one on your field, one in your hand, and that might not always come up. but it is kind of interesting. Vanquishful Calamity Caesar, I can only really being seen played in like a burn strategy, Vanquishful burn strategy, which sounds bizarre, but it might actually work because I do have this monster that burns for what, 1,500. Depending on how many different attributes you reveal, whether it be dark, earth, and or fire, you can activate these effects. And eventually the last effect is just Torrential Tribute. You destroy all monsters on the field. You can do that kind of whenever you want, which is pretty cool. And you also get the addition of the burn. Yeah, Vanquishful burn might be a strat. Cyberverse Sage gives you a lot of recovery. Once you ritual summon it using Signet Ritual, you can just fusion summoning using cards in your graveyard, and then if this card's sent to the graveyard as a synchro material because it's a level 1 and it's a tuner, you can just target a Cyberverse in your graveyard or ritual spell and add it back to your hand. It's 2 cards for 1, and it also extends plays by giving you a way to easily fusion summon. I like it. It's pretty cool. Brûlez Bassi de Nouvelles. It's pretty cute. It's not the worst, but it's really costly for, I mean, a bad statted monster with a low level and a mediocre-ish effect. Confrias de Noveles. I mean, just one spell trap. I mean, it's whatever. It's not that good. It's not that good. It's not that good. I like her. I like her a lot. She's beautiful. She's strong. And she's just generic rank 4 support. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, special summon it. Dude, like, man, all right. One of the best level 4s currently in the game. Thank you very much. I'll take it. Vanquisher Soul Pluton HG, I like it. I've never seen a card like it. It's either 3,000 attack or 3,000 defense, and it's just like a free body. And we only have 4 cards left. Signet Rollback is a great card. It's a quick play, it special summons a banish, and then it has a graveyard effect where you just get more advantage. Why do you have to pay life points for that? What? And it doesn't even have a graveyard effect? It's a quick effect. I guess maybe that's how it's balanced out. It's maybe 1 copy. I don't know. I don't like it. I really don't. Signet Circuit has the workings to be a banned card, mainly for the fact that you can special summon monsters from your graveyard to your opponent's side of the field, and there are monsters in the game that stop your opponent from special summoning or just summoning in general. That's a really, really big lock. The last card that did that was a branded card that got banned. This is searchable. Recite de Personal Staff Recipe is like a ritual spell you can play during your opponent's turn. It gets you a token that's the same level as a ritual monster you control, so you can use that same token to ritual summon another monster in your hand. It's not bad because, I mean, ritual summoning during your opponent's turn, quick effects, isn't the worst thing in the world. You get to disrupt them. All right, that's all the cards that have been listed, and I think that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and let me know what you want to see down below. Also, at the end, I'm going to talk quickly about the Salaman Great deck that I'm working on currently. The only real changes I would say is I put Hita in the extra deck along with Promisian Princess. She is very cool. In fact, I probably want 2 of her because she's so good in this deck. But yeah, there's not going to be any gameplay. I just wanted to show off the deck list. Here it is with Sprite Alpha as well. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. I hope you enjoyed your stay and I hope you have a great day or night. My name is Cushy Kush, aka Eric, and maybe I'll catch you next time. Later.